One of my favorite ways to study basic strategy is to make flashcards. All right, and I've made a set of kind of some nice colorful flashcards here that are going to be available for purchase on my Patreon, which I'll talk more about at the end. But otherwise, I have 21 of these flashcards that we're going to try to go over today, and let's see if you can get all 21 of these correct. All right, this is 1/3 of my entire set that I have of 63 basic strategy flashcards. Again, I'll tell you more about how you can buy those at the end of this video. But first off, let's see if you can start with this one. If you have a soft 18 versus a dealer 7, the correct decision here is going to be to stand. All right, try to do these along with me. Feel free to pause the video as you need. All right, what about a pair of 3s versus a dealer 7? A pair of 3s, well, 2s, 3s, and 7s are split 2 through 7, so this is in that range. It's going to be a split. All right, what about a 13 versus a dealer's 3? This is going to be a stand. All right, again, all these have explanations at the bottom, so if you're not sure, you can see this as a hard 13 through a 16, which is what we had, is going to be a stand against any 2 through 6. Otherwise, it is a hit. All right, what about a 9 versus a 7? This one is going to be a hit. All right, there's a deviation for this, but we're just playing basic strategy with these flashcards, so it's just a hit. All right, pair of aces versus an ace. You always split aces, so this is going to be a split. What about a 9 versus a 2? Remember, 9s are split 3 through 6, so since 2 is below that, this is going to be a normal hit. Again, this one does have a deviation for it, but for just playing basic strategy, it's just going to be a hit. What about a soft 18 versus an 8? Soft 18 is kind of notorious for being one of the hardest rows to memorize in basic strategy, but a soft 18 versus an 8 is a stand because you are likely to push on that hand, so it is a stand. All right, what about a pair of 4s versus a 6? Remember, 4s you split only against 5s and 6s. There are some exceptions if you are counting, but for just playing basic strategy, since this is a 6, we're going to split it. Okay, what about a soft 20 versus a 5? A soft 20 is going to always be a stand. Okay, yeah, it says down there, soft 20 is always a stand. What about a soft 15 versus a 4? A soft 15 versus a 4 is going to be a double down. All right, you double a soft 15 versus a 4, 5, and 6. Otherwise, you would hit that if it's not one of those. What about a soft 18 again? There's that tricky one. Soft 18 versus a 9. And so if you remember your basic strategy chart there, a soft 18 is a double down versus a 2 through 6. Against a 7 and 8 is a stand. And then against a 9, 10, and ace is going to be a hit. That's why it's the hardest row. There's kind of 3 things you got to remember for that row. So this one, since it's a 9, is a hit. All right, what about a soft 14 versus a 5? This is going to be a double down. Pair of 10s versus a 6. This is going to be a stand. Never split 10s. Yep, down there it says never split 10s. It's a stand. Pair of 8s versus a 6. What should you always do with aces and 8s? I about gave it away there. You should always split these. Oops. Always split your 8s. Okay, what about a soft 14 versus a dealer's 4? This is going to be a hit. Okay, the way I remember these is that if your hand is made up of an ace and a 3 against a 4, or if it's an ace and a 4 versus a 3, those two, since they don't match up, they're going to be hits. Okay, so I don't know, you double down when it was like an ace 4 versus a 4, and so on. Okay, what about a pair of aces versus a 10? Again, we always split aces. So it's a split. Pair of 4s versus a 4. 4s are only split against 5 and 6 using basic strategy. So this is a hit. Here we go. Again, the 4s are split against 5 and 6. This one is a split. Didn't shuffle those very good, I guess, on those two. What about here? This is a 17 versus a 6. Remember, if you have a hard 17 or higher, you're going to stand on that hand. Pair of 3s versus a dealer's 2. 2s, 3s, and 7s. If you have a pair of those 3 numbers, a 2, 3, or 7, you're going to split them against a 2 through 7. So since that's a 2, it is going to be split. All right, pair of 4s, again, are only split against 5 and 6. So this is a hit. And the last one, the 21st one here, if I counted those out correctly, it should be a pair of 3s versus a 6. Again, 2s, 3s, and 7s are split 2 through 7. So this is a split. All right. Before you go, a couple things. One, maybe let me know down in the comments, did you get all 21 of those correct? But more importantly, if you want to buy a set of these flashcards, they are going to be available on my Patreon. You don't have to be a member of the Patreon. I wouldn't mind if you are, but you can just go on there. There's a little shop that I will put in the link down in the pinned comment of this video. They're going to be available starting Friday of this week, which is Friday the 12th, I think, of January, right, if I remember correctly. So this is January 2024. If it's past Friday the 12th of January, these should already be available to you on there. Feel free to pick yourself up some. Again, there are 63. This is only 1/3 of that set of basic strategy flashcards. You can print them out in color or black and white. Here's some black and white ones. And you can, of course, choose whatever paper quality you want. If you want nice thick ones or just regular paper, doesn't really matter. But I'm selling them, I think, for $15. And if you would like to, again, kind of splurge a little bit, get color on really nice thick paper, it might cost you a little bit more to print those out. But just a PDF of 63 of these cards, so feel free to go buy those. All right, and until next time, remember, this is A1 Blackjack.